Hey there. Hey everybody. Welcome in. How you doing? Oh, shoot. Y'all bear with me. I'm trying to play around with some stuff for the first time. So, shoot. I think I deleted it. Oh, well. Hello. Hello. I'm good. How are you all doing? Thank you. I'm sure you are too. Beautiful souls recognize other beautiful souls. Hey. Which, can you guys hear me all right? Give me a thumbs up if you can hear me okay. I always want to make sure the audio is good these days. All right, so you guys can hear me well. That's great. So it's actually a good handful of men, my Phoenixes. If you belong to the Phoenix community, Grand Rising, welcome in, welcome in. If you're not, I don't know why you haven't subscribed already. If you just keep, showing back up, might as well become a Phoenix so you can rise like the rest of us. Might as well. So yeah, I don't know. I was scrolling through YouTube Shorts today, and I happened to see like a snippet of people talking about how they're just tired of being consciously aware of everything that's going on around them. And it really like hit home for me because I realized and I recognize that that's exactly what I feel like I've been experiencing. Like, for better words, trying not to say woke, but that's why, I like that they used aware instead. And because I know that that other term can, give people other feelings and emotions. And I'm not trying to get into political stuff or whatnot, but it's just more so like knowing that you're one of these people who can honestly see everything behind the matrix, so to speak. And you know that like a lot of this stuff, just in the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter. You can typically tell when people are being fake or phony, or you know and you can tell like when people just want you around so they can tap into your energy. If you're a person that tends to vibe high, you can tend to draw a lot of like energy vampires around you. And I feel like I told my husband this over the weekend. I was like, I feel like they're like the mentors. Is like as soon as I feel like I step out in the world, it's like they're trying to suck up any of my aura that they can. And I know like that's like the best depiction I can think of to describe how I've been feeling. So, you know, naturally for me, I tend to go into hermit mode a little bit, and that's just me. That's how I preserve my energy. That's how I, you know, stay in a good mood, stay in good energy, and not too much try to get bogged down with what's going on all around us, all over the, you know, world. It seems like there's just a lot of negative, not so good things happening. It's like I don't know about you guys, but it's like you can't even turn on your TV, you can't turn your radio, you can't do anything anymore without just seeing a bunch of just negativity rolling through, you know, and bombarding you. And it's like it gets really tiring, gets really draining. Especially when you notice others who seem to be completely unfazed by what's going on. Like I don't know how they do it. I don't know if they're practicing like living in the Lulu land or whatever, but I've always been a person that's been, you know, aware, situationally aware of what's going on around me, but I've definitely had to flex the, you know, muscle of not necessarily letting it impact my life. I'm not going to say that it hasn't, because I definitely feel like I tend to go into like hermit mode a little more now than I ever have, which is saying something because I thought I was a hermit like before a lot of this stuff started happening. But now I find myself like even more just wanting to be to myself. Like I feel like the only time I'm going to have a good time is when I'm with myself or with my, you know, immediate close loved ones that I, you know, intentionally surround myself around. Other than that, it's like it's just really hard to connect with other people for me personally, because I can tend to see through, you know, facades and stuff like that. So it's never a good time for me, because oftentimes I'm able to rule out in a few moments, like if this person really is trying to get to know me because they want to get to know me, or if they're just trying to come into my energy to, you know, like I said, like a dementor, just get their next little hit, you know, and then go on about their day. Because I know this to be true for myself. I've had this happen numerous times throughout my lifetime where, you know, my family and I would invite people into our little family unit and our and what we had going on, which wasn't much. I'm not gonna sit here and act like, you know, my family and I are like we're some party animals or anything like that. We really are not. We're just very tight knit. We like to, you know, have fun with each other and just play board games, you know, game PlayStation, whatever. Like we just reading. We just like to ourselves a good time. Good, clean fun, nothing crazy. And when we invite others in, whether this has been family members, whether this has been strangers, whether this has been, you know, like my husband's like coworkers, whatever, it's like as soon as we invite these other people in, you know, they love it there. Like they can't get enough of us. They can't, you know, they can't pull away from us, but we instantly notice like everything starts going downhill, because then somehow their dramas are getting, you know, brought in to our little, you know, oasis, so to speak. And it's like we didn't sign up for this. Which oh, I'm sorry guys. Up here talking my head off, ain't paying attention to the chat. Um, let's see. Oh, thank you guys. And I appreciate the sub, Libby. Thank you so much. Um, but yeah, so it's like I don't know, like I are you guys tired? Are y'all just, you know, how are y'all getting through your day to day? I mean, I recognize my, you know, privilege in that I may not necessarily interact with the outside world on a consistent basis as some of you all who, you know, work a traditional 9 to 5, and you know, you go to work, your soccer, you know, martial arts, whatever you might be involved in. I recognize that I don't necessarily get as much public exposure like I used to. And more so that's just because like as I've stated before, like I homeschool my children. So, pretty much everything I do and need to do is out of my home. And I'm grateful for that because that works for me and that works for my children because they're a lot like myself and their father. Like they just like to, keep their good energy, to themselves unless it's someone who genuinely has shown that okay, they're gonna be a great, friend or whatever. Um, then yeah, they'll interact with others. But for me, and just observing how people have always been with my family, um, they tend to, like I said, really gravitate towards us and want to be around us and want to be in our company. But then, we notice that they tend to bring negativity with them. And then somehow their drama or issues or whatever ends up becoming my family's issues. And it's like, and then it just kind of blows everything, out of, it tends to blow everything, out of proportion and messes up our whole little vibe that we had going on. And of course, that's taken years to, what's that word I'm looking for, to grow in that maturity, to know that there's just some people who just want to be around you because, you got the good vibes, you got the good energy going on. But as soon as they get what they feel like they need from you, then they want to move along, leaving you essentially in shambles. And it's like, it just gets so tiring. So for me, it's just easier to, stay to myself. And it's even easier now. Like I feel like me being the way that I am is like even more addictive. And that's why I like have to check myself sometimes. I'm like, okay, you kind of been in the house or in the room too long. Like maybe we need to get out. Maybe we need to go take a trip to the park or go to the store or whatever, like whatever it is that I decide to do. And then instantly once I do whatever that thing is, and I'm thinking in my mind like, oh, this will make me feel better. Maybe this is what I need to do to get out around people, not feel so weird about it. But then as soon as I do it, I instantly regret it. Like every time. Every time. And that's often because I end up having like a weird experience. I know on my channel I've also talked about the gang stalking aspect, which I know, unlike a lot of other YouTubers I've seen or that I'm subscribed to, who tend to premise their channel on that specific topic alone and just their day to day dealing with that situation. I personally choose not to, and that's more so for me than it is anything else, just because I can recognize that it's happening and it's going on around me, but I'm actively doing my best to not let it affect my life or my day or whatever, because I almost went off the deep end with it a couple years ago, and I'm just trying not to let myself slip back into that. It's like I can acknowledge it, I can see, I can recognize it, I can document it if I need to, but I'm gonna keep it moving. Like I'm gonna keep my sunny disposition because that's who I am at the core of everything. Like I just want to be me. I just want to be happy. I just want to be um just upbeat. And that's hard to do when, I'm always constantly like, huh, huh. So, that kind of ties into, like I said, the being socially aware. It's really tiring. Like it really takes a toll on you. And I know, like I said, for me personally, this is why I have to do these check-ins with myself on a consistent basis, because if I don't, I tend to get overwhelmed by all of this excessive like attention and just, I don't know, like I've always just been the type of person that I can just feel, you know, people's like malintent, and it's almost like it's like tapping me on the shoulder. So it's really hard to ignore for me a lot of the times. But I am working on getting better with that. And another way, I would advise, like for any of those of you who also are, belong to the TI community or feel any weirdness about when you're going out. I was like, hey, just start, if you can, start recording your interactions, especially if you struggle with people like believing you or thinking that you're nutsy cuckoo when you're not. Like everything, everything that you're experiencing is 100% real and it is happening. And I know that's, how I was initially. I was so concerned with, oh, I need them to, understand that this is really happening to me. But over the years, as stuff has continued to go on, I've recognized like it doesn't matter if someone else believes me or not. You can't, fight definitive proof, number one. Number two, as long as I know what I'm experiencing real, that's all that matters. But again, I just feel like it's better to not let it 100% consume you. And I know that it can be hard. It really can be hard, but you just have to do whatever the things are that makes you feel safe, that makes you feel, protected. Like me personally, um, I I personally, like I said, I keep to myself. Like I have my like I know it might sound like a nut job, but I'm not. I have like my blinds and stuff blocked out or whatever. Like that's what helps me feel like I'm in my energy. I feel like I'm at peace. Like because most of the time I'm like I don't care about what's going on outside of my safe space, with the exception of my external belongings like my car and stuff like that. But outside of that, like hey, whatever's going on out there, it's not my concern. Which suspicious guys, so they want you to freak out and make yourself see exactly. So you get it, and that's exactly what I know to be true. So that's why for me, like I know to them I look like the crazy person. Oh, she's in her house all day, she doesn't ever come out. When she comes out, she always has her phone out, or she's like, and it's like, yeah, but y'all are the nut jobs that are making me have to do these things. If you just stop what you're doing, I wouldn't have to do any of those things, because once upon a time I didn't live my life that way. I was able to go to the store and get what I need and go home and not have to worry about it. And I mean, even if people were, doing it to me, then they weren't as obvious about it. Or I was just still in the matrix and just oblivious to it, which I believe could also be true for me, because I've definitely grown a lot over the past few years and becoming aware of, the gang stalking movement, I guess, if you will, if that's what you want to call it. Because like I said, there are just so many more people talking about it. And I don't know if it's just because of that fact that people are talking about it more, that I know more about it, or if it's the fact that I just I never really paid attention as well as I thought I was, at least. Or at least I didn't look at people as threats. But the energy I feel from a lot of these people, it's not I'm just gonna I'm just gonna put it out there like that. Like it's something, it's an entity, it's something I just, it's like right there on the tip of your tongue, but you just can't put your finger on it. And it's like, and that's why it's like it's hard to explain, because you're trying to explain the what's the word, the abnormal, and make it seem normal. And of course, with most things in life, when people aren't aware of these things or don't have active knowledge of it, they immediately are afraid of it or shoot it down as, pseudoscience, or, oh, that's conspiracy, or blah, 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 blah. But then we're seeing in real time right now in our history, right now, that a lot of these people who have made claims and stuff like this over the years are being proven correct. So it's like what can you do? And that's why I said, like, being aware is draining, it's tiring, it sucks, because it's like you're the especially if you're like myself, like outside of mine, like I would say my husband and even my children, I don't really feel like I have anyone else in my immediate vicinity that is peeping all this, as I'm peeping all this. And and I'm not saying that that is indeed the case, but that's just how I feel. Or at least no one's approached me and be like, hey, I know what they're doing to you. And yeah, I see it too. Like, I've not had anyone approach me or whatever. So I just have to assume that I'm out here by myself, feeling that way, like I said, with the exception of my little tribe. But let's see. You can feel the eyes on me always. Yep. It's an energy. Like, you can't deny it. It's an energy. It's not just people. Sometimes it can be animals, birds too, especially owls and dogs. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Animals, which is a weird thing because I've never felt any like a type of way towards animals per se, like, oh, like, oh, I feel like the animals watching me, or if there's a bird out my window, I've never really looked at the bird. I'm like, oh, it's spying on me. Like, I've never thought that, but now, like, knowing what I know about certain things, and I'm like, dang, it's actually a possibility. Just one of those things, especially like I had mentioned in the community post about a book that I just started reading into called Children of the Matrix by David Icke, I believe is how you pronounce his name. And I recently became aware that I guess he is a well known conspiracy theorist. I didn't know that when I started reading the book. But when I'm telling you, just right out the gate, a lot of the information that man has shared in that book is spot on. Like, it's not for the faint of heart. If you're someone who's still, asleep, so to speak, it's not going to resonate with you at all. But if you, like myself, are aware, consciously aware of what's going on around you and the systems that play and all that jazz, you're going to love it. Like, it's been really a really good read so far. I think I'm on chapter 4 of it, and it has a lot of like good information. And what I love most is that he actually provides his sources. He's not just like, hey, trust me, bro. Like, he actually provided adequate sources for the things that he's claiming in his book. But I know he mentions to, of course, do your own due diligence, and I always do that. But yeah, it's just I feel like that book has kind of also inspired this video too, since I started reading it, because it's like it's life can sometimes be stranger than fiction, guys. Like, that's that's the best way I could put it. Like, I really wish that, this stuff was fake or wasn't real, but it is. It really is. Let me see. You love all animals. No, I like animals. Like, for a while there, I cats were on my crap list, and long story to that, but short, I'll give you the short gist is that the place I lived, I actually talked about the place in this week's video. That place in particular where my family and I were living, it was a historic home, so it was like a wooden structure in one of those older homes where the freaking house, and they would like get under our house sometimes during mating season and be fighting. We had a couple of them, die up under the house. It was, yeah, it instantly turned me off the cats, which is crazy because like my first pet were two cats. So it's not that I hated cats, it's just that I just fell out of love with them because of that experience, and experiencing that for like 7 years, like at that one residence. I was just over it. My family and I were over cats, but I've slowly come back around. Like, I recognize, like, I love animals. I don't hate animals. I don't hate, but I dislike bad pet owners. But I have always had a natural like affinity for animals. I've never like had an animal that I was scared of or whatever, outside of like reptiles. But even that I've been coming out of because I recognize they're just like any other creature. Like, if you're respectful and cool with them, they're respectful and cool with you. It's really is what all it is when it comes down to it. They want to knock your lights out. Genius. I mean, if there is someone that wants to knock my lights out, they got a weird way of showing it because I'm right here. Like, I haven't I live a life to myself. I don't bother anybody. I don't disturb anyone else's peace. I just call things like I see them, and I know that tends to rub people the wrong way. So if me living my life authentically as I do makes people want to knock my lights out, then they can feel that way. It ain't gonna change anything, and they can try, but it ain't gonna. I'm not gonna sit here and let somebody knock my lights out. Like, please understand that, because I think people oftentimes confuse my meekness for weakness, and I'm not weak. Most of us aren't. It's just like how when people mess with the quiet kid in the classroom, and then that kid comes back to school and knock that bully's lights out. Yeah, like this ain't what you want. Like, go play with somebody else, because I'm not the one to be played with. I'm the way that I live my life is because I know how I can get. And I don't like that side of myself. I don't like to have to get ugly, because it does indeed get ugly. But thank you for sharing that. Shadows run. I like that. Shine so bright the shadows run. I like that. That's a good way of putting it. Good spin on it. Yeah, I'm telling you, just watching more and more people wake up to, recognizing that the system that we exist in is just that, it's a system. It's meant to keep us stuck in a mind frame and a mindset of just, get up and go, make money, eat, exercise, whatever, just the same routines year after year after year, day after day after day, month after month after month. It just, it's like, yeah, when does this crap end? It's like and then you sprinkle, for a select few of us, you sprinkle gang stalking on top of that. Like, bruh, I know I can't be the only one that's tired of this BS. Like, and I mean, it's not impacting me as much as it could have, just because I've gotten through the tough phases of it in the beginning. Because in the beginning, no, I wasn't handling it well. I thought I was losing my mind. I thought I was, as they say, because again, the first thing they like to tell you is that, oh, you're schizophrenic, you're hypochondriac, you're this and that. And it's like, I'm sitting here thinking like, oh my gosh, like I'm gonna have to go back to therapy. Like, am I depressed? Am I sad? And it's like, no, it's not none of those things. Like, I know for once in my life, it's not me. Like, I'm good, until people try to come and fuck up my day. You get what I'm saying? But even now, like, I'm recognizing that I still can't let these people impact my day, because at the end of the day, it's my life. Like, I decide how I interact, or how I choose to look at the outlook on life. Like, no one wants to wake up and just know, as soon as you step out your door. I mean, I guess unless, like, how it's like paparazzi, it's like, oh, there she is, there he is, oh, like, no one wants to live like that. Again, unless you're a person who wants to be a celebrity and wants all that type of attention. But me, I've never been a person that cares about all that. And I know that can sound like contradictory because I'm on YouTube, but this is a medium in which I am comfortable with. This is the level of interaction that I have chosen, because this is what I'm comfortable with. And even still, even with this, like, I'm not on here because, oh, I want to be famous, or I want to be, the next big thing. Like, that's not why I'm on here. I want to share what I'm experiencing in my life, so I can potentially connect with others like myself, who are just good people, just trying to get through this wackadoo world. And, if we can continue to create a community with one another, so we can support each other and look out for each other, like, that's it. Like, at the end of the day, if all that does come along with it, cool, that's fine. But that's not my MO at the end of the day. And I know I joke with my spouse a lot about stuff like that. I'm like, oh, well, shoot, if these people are going to watch me the way they watch me, the least they could do is make me famous. Least they could do is make me rich. But I say that in jest, because even he knows, like, he knows that's not me at all. Like, I've always had an outlook on life. Like, I gladly work for free if all of my needs could be met. And lo and behold, I spoke that into existence because it's literally the life that I live. And I didn't even recognize that until like what, I turned 35. I didn't even recognize that. So, and that's the humanitarian in me. Like I've always enjoyed helping others, opposed to myself. Like that's my domain. I tend to do really well with that. John, let me catch up with you guys here in the chat. Oh, I don't think he meant physically, but spiritually. They want you. Oh, okay. Well, I'm sorry, Jeans, for misunderstanding you. I apologize, but hey, look. When it comes to this internet stuff, it's hard to interpret, people's tones. So I was just, that was just my way of letting you know I ain't never scared. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I get you, I got you, and no, and I agree. Like I said with the Dementor comment, like that's exactly what it feels like. They just want to suck all your light force, all your everything. They want to suck everything positive right up out of you and leave you, all shriveled up and and looking like a skeleton while they going around, being high on life off of your energy instead of just going out and creating their own. Like it's weird. It's weird. Yep. Everything changes when your awareness is enlightened. I agree. All power to the Most High. And exactly. And that's what I like to, chomp it up to. I like to remind myself that, I think I've said it before, that the toughest battles go to the toughest warriors. Or at least that's how I'm comforting myself these days. Again, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. Like there's some days where I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I'm sick of this crap. I'm ready to give just as good as I've been getting. I'm ready to, tear this mother up, but I have to remember it's not worth it. Like that's why I have to keep telling myself, I'm like, Ashley, you ain't got to do a thing. You ain't got to touch nobody. The laws and the scales and balances of this life don't just apply to me. They apply to everyone. So whatever people sow, they will reap. And that is just that. Even if I don't see it, even in my own lifetime, it doesn't matter, because for me, it's not even about that. And I have been in that place where I was like, oh, I'm just ready. Oh, I'm just ready to see everybody get what they deserve and all that. And I think that, again, that was just me vibrating low, because I was over it. If I'm being completely honest, I was over it. And I was just tired, because I'm like, all I'm doing is taking care of my family, showing up for my children, showing up for myself, showing up for my spouse, and and just being me. And people just hate out of me for it. And I'm like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Why other people tend to be so invested in other people's lives. Like, I'm not here stopping how anyone else is choosing to live their life. I'm not out here like, oh, you better not do that. You better not say that. No, like, hey, that's how you want to live your life. That's your business. As long as it don't impact me or mine, I don't care. Like, you do what you got to do and do what's best for you. So that's why I don't get why I feel like people project this like, oh, well, if they're not, don't have the things that they want in life or whatever, you shouldn't either. And it's like, kind of way is that to live? Like, I've seen people all around me most of my life lap me on multiple, in multiple areas in life. And I have never once sat back and like, oh, I can't believe they went ahead and bossed up without me. I can't believe they got that promotion without. I can't believe they got a husband without before me. I can't, like, I have never been a person who's measured myself to other people or my successes or whatever. I don't do that. I recognize and I understand that what's for them is for them, and what's for me is for me. It's really that simple. But a lot of people have such an envious and like jealous spirit in them that they'll have all the things that even you might want secretly or whatever, and they'll still hate you for the one little thing God gave you. like, like I don't. It's like, make it make sense. Like, I've literally lived in places where people are driving BMWs and Teslas and all this, and I just got a little old Hyundai, a little 2016 Hyundai, beat up. She missing a couple of paint chips. She ain't the prettiest thing, but she get me from point A to point B. She's safe. And these people just hating. And I'm like, but you got more, you know what? Nope, I ain't gonna worry about it. Like, hey, sometimes the math don't math, and it ain't my job to make the math make sense. Like it I just I don't get it. I didn't get it. I don't get it. But that's how envy and jealousy have some of these people. They'll have you just, feeling like, even just a little bit that you got, you don't deserve. And I consider myself to be a humble person. Like I have never been a person that's out here trying to keep up with the Joneses. I have always lived my best or done my best to live like a simplistic life, a minimalist life. If I'm being completely honest, I definitely am a little more of a consumer these days, but don't judge me. That's because, me and my husband, we went without a lot in our earlier years, in our earlier formative years, building up our family. So yeah, what's that? How's that Bible scripture go? Talking about enjoy the fruits of your labor. Like, yeah, we enjoying the fruits of our labor right now. So I ain't feeling too bad about stuff like that. But at the end of the day, am I rich? Heck no, not by no means. But I am, I still see that I feel like people are hating on me for that. And if they're not, then hey, maybe I'm reaching. Maybe I'm wrong, but I still can't possibly understand why, other people who are quote unquote successful in life and have families and have spouses and have children and have families, but you're wasting that precious time that you could be spending with them doing those things to worry about me and mine. Like, make it make sense. I don't get it. That's just me. Let's see. Sometimes just walking away is best. Karma is real. There are no such things as coincidences. Exactly. And I agree. Karma is real. Definitely okay to walk away. You don't have nothing to prove to no one. And I am definitely on that tip more so myself. I mean, I've never really been a confrontational person. I've actually abhorred confrontation. And it's not even so much from a standpoint of being scared. It's just I know how I get or how I can get if it goes too far. And that's why, if anything, I'm scared of me. I'm scared of me and what I'll do. And that's just me. But I agree with you on that. Jealousy and ego are the root of unhappiness. I'm thankful for my present. Exactly. And I feel like that's really what it is, that just a lot of people aren't content with what they have. Like, even though they're going out, they're doing all the things, they might be taking the trips, they might be, buying the brand new cars and the brand new homes and all that, but yet they're still miserable on the inside. And it's like, I really wish people would understand that, things are things. Okay. They can come and go. You could, get it today and be gone tomorrow. But the inner peace that you have, it'll always stay with you. When you learn to put the first thing first and you recognize that your success should not be measured by the things that you possess, or whatever, like at the end of the day, none of that matters. Like, it all boils down to you, your character. How do you treat people who can't do anything for you? Are you the type of person, if you see a homeless person, you'll stop and give them something? Or are you the type of person that, oh, well, you won't even dare look at them because, oh, I'm a doctor, so I can't even be seen in the same, you like, and I'm not even, again, no shade if you don't give to homeless, because a lot of these people be out here scamming. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it a bug. And that's where that discernment comes in. That's where your intuition comes in. The ones who truly are in need, and then those who are out here, like I said, taking advantage of people's kindness. Because I for one have, had people take advantage of my kindness. And so that's why now, like, when I do see certain individuals, I'll assess, and I'll just pay attention to certain things and like how they act, if someone does or doesn't give them something. And then if they act up, I'm like, oh nope, they don't need nothing, no way, they all right, they good. But yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, it's like being able to see, the behind the scenes of every individual. Like, you can literally see the monster that's on everybody's shoulder who, operates like that. Because of course not everyone operates like that, but I ain't gonna lie to you guys, it really does feel like it's a vast majority of people these days that are walk around here with that green eye monster on their shoulder, who just, it's like they're there, but the lights ain't on. Like it's almost like they're an empty vessel that's being poured into by other spirits and entities that be jumping in and out of them. And they be the ones surveilling and making you feel weird and giving all this evil eye and all this stuff. Like ugh, it just is like, ugh, you just want to get it off you. And that's how I feel like every time I go out, I'm like, it's kind of like if you had to run into like what is it, like a sulfur mine, and that stuff stank to high heaven, but you gotta hold your breath and run through and get through. It's just like that. That's how I feel every time I gotta go out this house. Every time. But on an energetic level, like not even, of course, holding my nose, but just on an energetic level, I'm like, oh, like I could just feel it. Like you could just feel the energy. And that's again with you being a intuitive individual or empathic individual, you can feel vibrations, you can feel energy, you can instantly tell how the room shifts when you come into it. And I have experienced this more times than I like to count. That's why a lot of times I used to think like, oh, me, what's the word? Procrastinating about things was, oh, because ADHD or whatever, like, because I believe I'm undiagnosed. I feel like most of us probably are. But it's like I used to think like, oh, you're like this because you suffer with this. And nah, it ain't that. It's just because I've always been able to tell that it was gonna be some fuck shit. If I can say that on live, my bad. If I can't, sorry about that. But you can just tell is not gonna be a good time. And so therefore you don't even want to be there. And that's how I am. Like I'll gladly remove myself. If I feel like stuff is off, I'm out. Like I'll come back another time, or I'll just go somewhere else, or I'll just go home. Like it ain't no biggie for me. And I think a lot of times, especially for my particular situation, I feel like people think that they may be successful in excluding me from certain places and spaces, just be, of course, from people like trying to bully my family and myself from like being at parks and stuff like that, like just a lot of weird stuff. And it's like, no, baby, like if we left or we're leaving, it's because that's what we want to do. I'm not, of course, if I'm in a space and I want to be there, then I'm going to remain there. But at the same time, it's just like recognizing that we have a choice and what we choose to tolerate and put up with. And my meter is just lower than others. Like that's how I would describe it, if I'm being completely honest. I like that. Thank you, suspicious guys. Absolutely. I definitely, and I feel the same. Like it's so crazy because like even despite everything I've been experiencing or my family's been experiencing, like we still love it where we are. Like when we move to where we are in this state, like we still love how just the energy of this place with retrospect to some people, because again, I'm not going to put that on all the people, but it's still such a beautiful state to be in. And I I felt drawn here. Like I felt energetically drawn to come here. And I don't know if that's like supposed to be in preparation for things to come, or if, something is, spiritual supposed to be happening or whatever. Like I don't know, but something just was nudging me like, yeah, move there. Like things will be better there. And like I said, overall things have been better here. Like all of my family has been, happier. We've been able to do more of the things that we enjoy. Like I said, even despite, people trying to interfere with that, but we still have a good time. We still wake up every day joking and joshing around, and like we just, again, like it's it's almost like second nature to us. Like it's no big thing for us to be indoors or stay inside for days on it. Like that's just us. Like it's not even we don't feel like we're missing out on anything. We don't suffer from FOMO. And I know that that's another thing too, is like a lot of, people tend to suffer with that whole fear of missing out. Like, oh, I'm going to miss something. But I'm like, no, like, I guarantee you, whatever it is that you feel like you're missing out on, you're not. Like, it's and eventually the way that the world works is that if you didn't get a chance to experience it this time, there'll be another time. That's what I'm saying. Like, you got to learn to trust and tap into that intuition. If you get that tap when you're like, hey, maybe you shouldn't go there today, or maybe, instead of going to the park, maybe you should go to the pool, or like, you got to listen to that inner voice, or to that inner, like, yeah, that inner voice, or whatnot, whatever it is for you. Because I don't hear voices, but I'm just saying, like, I know some people like, oh, I heard a voice, and or I think it was God's voice, and I'm like, I don't personally have that. But for me, it's just like a nudge. It's like a spiritual nudge, like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do that today. Let's just stay home. And I crap you not, like, there's been several instances where I gotten those nudges. I wanted to go do something, and then lo and behold, something I find out later on, lo and behold, that something happened, and I'm like, man, so maybe that's why I was supposed to stay home, or I was supposed to go here and not there. Like, it's crazy, and it's happened quite a bit for me. So I think it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the better you'll develop it. Let's see. God gave us free will. You do have a choice. Yes. And we all do have a choice. And for me right now, I'm choosing to stay inside. Like, I don't, like I said, I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. Like, don't get me wrong, when I pop out and I go out, I go out. Like, my family and I, we took a trip back to Cali last weekend to go visit my husband. And, and we went out to the beach and sat out there and played board games, and just had us a good time. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's to the point now, it's like we do little recharge, stuff like that. Um, just intermittently. It's not on any particular schedule. And we're good for a while. Like, I don't need as much of that as others might. And that's what I'm saying. So, like, when it comes to me and my family, our tolerance for stuff like that is low, because, like, even my husband's the same way. Like, if he's somewhere for too long and he feels there's a bunch of people, he's like, yeah, we got to get flip up out of here. Like, we gotta go. It's too much going on. Like, and we all start to kind of energetically get that, like, vibe, like, yeah, we need to, it's time to wrap it up. It's time to go home. The gut feeling will not misguide you. Your mind will lie and your heart will mislead you. Hmm. No, and I definitely believe that more now than I ever have. That's why I've been trusting it more, and it's not been leading me wrong at all. Um, I kind of got that nudge today. Like, I originally was like, oh, maybe I should try to, go visit a park today or something. But then instead, I was like, you know what? Maybe I should just, do a live or something. Because it wasn't even so much to get outside, because I have access to outside every day, all day, in my backyard. But I just, again, even out there, I just hadn't been. But I know I have it there. Like, it was more so from a, just like, oh, trying to, again, gauge and see where, the energy is, and if I could potentially, meet some cool people, because I know that you guys are out there. I mean, clearly you're here right now, but at the same time, it's that whole, I'm having to recognize that for the same reason that I stay in and I keep my energy to myself a little more probably than I should have. But, it's like I can't just, interact with everybody. I can't just be around everyone, because there are some people that are not worthy of being in my energy and in my space. And I know how that might sound, but it's not from a, like, a cocky or ego like place. It's more so from what's the word? It's like, it's more so from the standpoint of just knowing that you see, I lost my train of thought. I'm sorry about that. It's more so from the standpoint of knowing that you you can't control other people. You can't control who might try to come and interact with you. And someone trying to interact with me inherently isn't bad, but it's also not it's just not something that I'm like super excitable for a lot of the time. So I feel like a lot of the time it's just more so my like that, I guess that little itty bitty extroverted part of myself that wants to try to test the waters and see like, oh, will people receive me better now? But every time I try, it's like, nope, nope, they're still not ready for you yet. So I'm like, okay, I'll just go back here in my corner and just, keep working on me and improving myself, and that's all that I can do. Um it's just, I don't know, it's like I said, it's just time, and it's I wish things were better. I wish things weren't like this for a vast majority of us, but it's completely out of our control a lot of the time. No matter how hard we try to present ourselves, like some people just won't receive you well, and that's their loss, so to speak. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here and just talk to you guys and see how things are going for you all. Like maybe if things have changed a little bit for you guys, or if things are getting a little better. And then also just just checking in. I'm trying to get a little better at showing up, showing face a little more, because again, I'm the type of person, I want people to get a chance to miss me. You know what I'm saying? Like I know there are a lot of content creators that tend to, post every day, all day, and that's just not conducive for me. um but I mean, if there's definitely an interest in you guys wanting to have more like just chit chat sessions like this or whatever, then I definitely will try to check in a little more and see, engage you guys and see how you feel. That's why I mentioned about like reading books. Like that's something that I'm also interested in. If we want to start like a little book club, so to speak, and we can all get like a good list of books that we're like reading. Because like I mentioned the one book earlier, and then like this is another book I'm reading. What is it? The How to Read the Akashic Records, Accessing the Archive of the Soul in Its Journey, and it's by Linda Howe, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. I've also started reading that, which I'm hoping to learn a little more on that. I know I shared, I think it was my last slide, that I tend to like read about like metaphysics and esoteric readings and teachings and ancient texts and stuff like that. And I'm just trying to share a little bit more of that side of myself with you guys, so that I don't know, we could just see what we have in common. Maybe I share some commonality with some of you guys on some of that stuff. And like I said, just trying to create the community that I do secretly desire. I don't dislike people. Um, with in the sense that it's like, I just hate all people. Like no, but this life can make you feel sometimes like you don't want to be around stuff, for a while. But now I'm in a place where I'm open to receive good folks, but I don't want any BS. If you're someone that's trying to harm me in some way, heck no, I don't want to be around you. Like how does that make sense? Why would I do that? I have been shown a lot. Yeah. No, I'm guilty of scrolling YouTube a lot myself, but I also receive a lot of downloads through YouTube. It's where I tend to get a lot of my inspiration for certain things, outside of the stuff that I already know I want to talk about. Like I said, like this morning I just saw those shorts of people sharing their experiences. And it instantly just made me feel like, maybe I should get on and share my experience, because I resonate with that. And I'm doing the same for you all. Like I want you all to feel safe and feel comfortable to be able to share what you're experiencing too, because you never know how it might help someone else. You never know how it can help you. Like it's very therapeutic to talk about the things that you have going on. And I don't, and I don't mean like in a trauma dump, way. I can understand if I was getting on here like, oh my God, guys, oh, my life is just a void, and oh, I hate life. Like I'm not doing all that, and I'm not shaming anyone that does do that, but that's not me. Like if I'm gonna confide in anyone, for one, it'll be the Most High. For two, it'll be my husband. Like it's I'm not gonna bog down, you guys with all that. But I definitely don't mind sharing some of what's going on, and just choosing to turn the attention and trying to focus more on the positive things instead of fixating so much on the negative, because it's just so much negativity to count, or to just lose track and lose yourself in. And I'm trying not to do that. But yeah, YouTube can be a blessing and a curse, because like I said, I do tend to abuse it, but I honestly, it's what's been helping me stay sane. So it's one of those things that's helping me not to hurt someone else. So so I'm gonna keep using that tool for me. I say, what you guys got going on here? Spend a lot of time here on YouTube. Oh yeah, I saw that one. Which, yes, sharing is caring. Thank you so much for sharing that. I agree 100%. But I think again, it's just knowing our limits and knowing what you should keep, to yourself just a little bit, and then what's appropriate. So yeah, I trying to remember. So I think I pretty much talked about everything I wanted to talk about today. I shared my books with you guys. And I'm serious about that. Like if you all are interested, please hit that community tab up. Let me know. Those of you who are interested, because I'll definitely like dedicate some like shorts or whatever, or some not shorts, excuse me, dedicate some live sessions that we can talk about, discuss that book, or the first book, The Children of the Matrix, because it's really good, guys. Like I've been enjoying it so far. Almost didn't want to put it down. Like it's so bad. And then of course the Akashic Records, which I think I'm like what, chapter 1. No, I just got done with just got done with chapter 1. So I'm still fairly, just broke into these books. So I'm not too far into it where we couldn't talk about these things if we wanted to, or discuss them. But you guys gotta let me know. So I think I'm gonna sign off there. Thank you if you joined in. Thank you for watching. And for those who subscribe, thank you. If you like, thank you. If you're sharing, thank you. I appreciate it. Shout out to my moderators. You guys have been awesome. Thank you for showing up and showing out. I appreciate you guys. But yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and sign out. And I hope you all have a wonderful day. And yeah, until next time. See you.